It looks like their runners are about to begin. Please follow your runners, Nina Riffick and Raylan Tanker. They're going to be giving us a really great race here. And off we go. I expect both runners are going to go straight to a link to the past. That's the typical opening play here. Much more items they can check in Link to the Past than in Super Metroid. Where in normal mode, the only item in Logic is the item on the Morphball pedestal. And yes, they're both going to Link to the Past. You'll see probably the jump into Lake Hylia, and looks like it's just the red rupee there. We probably will not be seeing that red rupee again in this race. Got some divergence here. Raylan over to Sanctuary gets the map. Meanwhile, power bombs for Niterific and Link's house. That's going to be really important here in the early game until we find the more fall bombs if we do. And a map check. Eastern Palace was a Metroid token. We did see that. Other two, I think, were crystals. First tree pull is just arrows. It's not the tree pull that Niterific was hoping for. Meanwhile, Raylan is going up into the lumberjack area. Sees the arrow tree pull. At the uncle, we have the hammer. That's a big first find. I would say that puts the Hyrule Castle immediately into play. Didn't quite see what was at Lumberjack, but it doesn't look like it's anything for progression. A reserve tank at the uncle. Usually later in the race, they might not need these, but early on, a reserve tank is never quite a bad thing. They haven't gotten any yet. Raylan going over to the Lost Woods, and where the mushroom usually is, finds a full heart container. That's good early. We always want to get a little more in the game. I expect Raylan is on his way to Kakariko. The first down into the Thief's hideout. The flippers. We got flippers and hammer. Two big Zelda items early on here. No fake flippering today on Raylan's side. Niterific going up and doing some of the same checks that Raylan has already done. Raylan on their way to Kakariko Village. A lot of checks here. Doesn't have any rupees or bombs yet, so there's not that much they can do. Going to pull some of these bushes here. There are 50-50 bomb drops, not one. So they might go to the bombable hut. They're going to try it again to see if they can get some more. And not having much luck on these bushes. And again, being stonewalled by the bushes. Yeah, $50 at Lumberjack. Thank you, chat. So we will not be seeing that. So that Lumberjack item is not required for AGA 1. But we still might have to do AGA 1 for our hold access that remains to be seen. Raylan going to check the race game. Meanwhile, Niterific gets the flippers. And we do have a medallion on the race game, so Raylan is going to definitely go pick up that medallion. We have no idea if we'll need it yet, but we might as well go ahead and get it. I think it's Quake. I saw it pretty quickly, but I'm pretty sure it's Quake. We'll get confirmation here in just a second. It is indeed Quake, so our first medallion is Quake. Raylan picks up that. Meanwhile, Niterific is going into Blind's house. Into the basement down here. Let's see what they find. Some bombs that'll be really useful. Ice Beam. And Wave Beam. And some more bombs. I would say that's a pretty good blind placement so far. One more item here in the back. Super missiles. That's really good. We've got a lot of good items here for early Metroid, and we've got more bombs to continue exploring Kakariko. So I'd say that was a very good cluster of items here. Still looking for enough money to go pay the bottle vendor. Maybe they'll find that down here in the well. Raylan, I suspect it is going to the Bamboo Hut. Missile found. And the mushroom in the back of the well. Chat pointing out that we are a moon pearl away from Dark World access, and indeed we are with that. And the glove. Sorry, I missed the glove. And we do have gloves. So yes, we are a moon pearl away from Dark World access. We'll see which side gets that. In the chicken hut at the same time. And Raylan picks up his power bombs. That's another good. We're nearing enough power bombs to safely do the Bryn loop. 15 is what you're really looking for there. We've got 10 at this point. So one more power bomb pack means power bombs will not be a problem for Bryn. 10 is doable. There's that glove in the back of the tavern. Kakariko stacked today. Neither orb. Of course, that's what they most want to find, but still quite a bit of value. I missed the library on the first go around, so let's see what's on the library ledge for Nito. Just 20 rupees, so we will not be going to the library today. Nito going to the race game blind, that's going to help him out. That's the right decision in this race. Even though there's Quake, so we'll be getting that. Raylan about to get their Ice Beam and Wave Beam along with a lot more bombs. Wave Beam, of course, means that the wave room in Brinstar is in logic here in normal mode. So watch out for a potential item there. It also, once they get the Morph Ball and the various suit, puts Proctormire. Nitorific going down south. We see the bottle vendor has a 5 bomb capacity upgrade, probably not worth 100 rupees, but at least he didn't pay 500 rupees for them like at Zora. Going into the dam. First test there is another missile pack. Raylan, meanwhile, taking that glove straight to the back of Escape, I think. Yes, indeed, going here to the back of Escape, that's 3 items. And with the glove, that's perfectly in logic. Nito is going to empty the dam and see what's under the water. Raylan, over in the back of Escape, finds a heart container, the small key, and another missile pack. Not going to continue with the Dark Cross. Nito finds bombs in the drained water and is going to continue going this direction over to the mini Moldorm cave. Has the hammer, but probably will use bomb strats. We'll see. Yes, indeed, going to use the bomb strats. Three down, nice double kill with that bomb. And one more to go. And goodbye, mini Moldorms. And what are we going to get for that kill? We've got 5 things back here. The Book of Medora, heart container, missile pack, super missiles, and a heart piece. Now, if you're Nito, do you race with that book over to Desert Palace? It does put Desert in logic. We can't finish Desert yet. We don't have a fire rod or a lamp, but we could at least get into Desert and see what we can see. Of course, there could be an item, or the dungeon itself could be boots locked on the torch. Nidoриfic going over to check out Ice Rod. Meanwhile, Raylan's going into Mini Moldorm. He'll get his Book of Medora. Watching out for those crabs. Very good to avoid the crabs there on Nidoriffic's side. And Nido finds an Ice Rod cave, a bomb capacity upgrade. Not what they wanted there, but at least that check is now marked off. Now where do these runners go with what they've got? Raylan is again going back down. Gotta be careful getting hit by these nasty nefarious creatures here. Back into Mini Moldorm cave. Nidoriffic going to the back of the cave. Raylan using his bombs on Mini Moldorm and calls it Chasm. He's got only a heart piece left. Got to be extra careful with those Mini Moldorms. Nidoriffic getting their heart container, small key and missile from the back of the cape. That was going to be a double kill on Raylan's side, but instead both went away. But nice double kill there. And Raylan gets their book. Meanwhile, Nido, where are they heading? They are going with that book, at least going toward Agina's cave and probably to check out Desert. My suspicion, yes, that is the direction Nidoriffic is going. So they're going to Ren. Yes, Carflu in the chat, Mean Dorm. Indeed. And yes, the Stank Part Mini Moldorm was a nice save for Raylan there. Raylan's taking the flippers, so we've got some divergence here. Nido in the desert, Raylan picks the flippers up. Can't do Zora, but can check everything else. Raylan into Waterfall Cave. Piece of Heart, and a Missile Tank. A Missile Pack, I should say. Meanwhile, Nidoriffic checking one of the old men, checking Agina. To find another piece of heart. Raylan not taking the flippers all the way up around to see what's on Zora's ledge. Instead, taking the whirlpool back down here to probably check, I'm guessing, the man under the bridge. Nidoriffic taking the book into Desert. Checking the ledge item first, it's the heart container. Raylan is under the bridge. Our camper. Our friendly camper today brought along 300 rupees. That's a nice find. And it will get them much closer to cashing in for Zora as soon as they find even more money. Nidoriffic into Desert. Let's see if this dungeon is boots locked. We're hoping it's not, for Nido's sake. Nice camera kill there. And getting a full magic container in the process. That'll be helpful. Piece of heart on the torch. So that should be fine. It's not boots locked. And the first torch here, the first item is a small key. They can continue exploring. Raylan trying to make their way over to the Ice Rod Cave, avoiding those nasty crabs. He's a fairy. Can't catch it yet, but it's going in to get their piece of heart. From the Ice Rod, sorry, the bomb capacity upgrade. Second chest in Desert is the big key, so we can check that. Very nice. And then the big key chest is a red rupee. That's 2 items in Desert, all there is. So we'll have to come back later to complete Desert, but that was not the answer for progression. Meanwhile, Raylan is coming down through the water. And it appears Raylan is going to turn in that mushroom. Maybe? No. My apologies, we're in the wrong spot. Raylan's going up to Death Mountain with that glove. That's a very viable play. There's plenty they can do up there. Don't have the mirror yet to get into Tower of Terror, but there are plenty of things they can check. Now, this is out of logic because we do not have the lamp for the old man. But once they get up there, Raylan will be able to check two things and get into the business center in North Fair. But the initial item in the high jump group. So this could be a very good sequence break. Meanwhile, Nidorik is in Hyrule Castle. Get super missiles here in the first chest. The old man has a missile pack, but more importantly than the missile pack is the save and quick point here at the mountain. That'll be much more useful than the missile pack. Very good for Raylan. You gonna check that first? No, he's not going in. Right, that first room in Metroid, it can be very annoying. If you don't kill the enemy pretty much immediately, you're going to be stuck in there until the enemy comes back around without more fall. So I don't disagree with the play. Heart piece in escape, not much there. Raylan inside technical rock with a heart container. Not going to need that on top. It's just $5. Now he's going back into North Fair to see what's at the high jump location. May scout out what the item is at Croc Escape as well. Yes, indeed, we're going to do that. And it's a heart piece. Let's see what we have here in... Ah, the lamp! Okay, so there, that makes the Death Mountain play that Raylan just did in logic. And nicely done by Raylan killing the enemy in the high jump area. Nito taking a death warp to get back to the beginning. Raylan, well done. Getting that missile pack and getting out. Death Mountain is in logic. Raylan doesn't know that yet. Gone to escape. Nito is now going to go through Dark Cross with that lamp. You know there's an item back there. Raylan going down. Off the mountain, back to Link's house, and is going back, I think, toward the desert, and they will find there's there of value. Meanwhile, Nito is making her way to the chest in Dark Cross, and we'll see if this is anything. Ooh, Ice Rod! Not progression immediately, but if Turtle Rock is a crystal or a Metroid boss, it absolutely will be required. So nice find. We never want to go on an Ice Rod hunt at the end of the seed, so that is a good find there. We'll see how long it takes before Raylan goes to Dark Cross. Raylan using the book to go in. Nito taking the flippers. I'm guessing they'll probably take those same flipper checks that Raylan just did. Trying to think between the two runners, where is the progression here? It could be on Morphball Pedestal. Morphball could be in this vanilla location. Could be Moon Pearl, as we are one item away from Dark World access. With that Ice Beam, it's a very gnarly route, but you can get Alpha Power Bomb. With the items they have, I believe, with Ice Beam, it's not fun, but it is doable. That would be the trolliest possible spot for progression at this point. We haven't seen Eastern Palace yet, or Hospital's Closet. There could be something there. So put your guesses into chat where you think the next major progression item is going to be. Terrific in the Waterfall Cave gets their piece of heart and their missile pack. Raylan in Agina's Cave. And does find his piece of heart. Let's see. Oh, on the Zora ledges, the hook shot. Raylan didn't go that far north, and that's going to cost him. How long will it take him to get back up there? Oh boy. Leave the scamfish behind. We don't have the money. But go grab that hook shot. That might have been the play. Look for the hook shot on Zora's ledge. Gotta put East Death Mountain in logic. I know there are a bevy of items over there. Good play for Nitorific. So now Nito has 2 items that Raylan's going to have to get back to in spots. The Ice Rod is in Dark Frost, and the Hook Shot, Zora's Ledge, probably won't check until they go actually check the Scam Fish. Meanwhile, Raylan is going up to Sinastro's closet. And we find out the green pendant is in Skull Woods. So Skull Woods is the green pendant today. So it is on the Zelda side. 20 rupees and 20 rupees. I'm agreeing with chat. Pearl could be vanilla-esque, vanilla adjacent today. That is a very good shout. Meterific rescuing the old man in logic, unlike Raylan, because he has the lamp from the escape. Raylan making the escape play now. First going to go to Uncle. Meterific is going to get that saving good spot. Raylan getting his reserve tank from the Uncle. I'm guessing the Uncle did not have the auto reserve turned on before he went down to space down here. That's a shame. Raylan getting their hammer. Very nice. Nito Izzo going over to East Death Mountain, as I suspected with that hook shot. Parrot is full clearable. That is absolutely correct. Now that we've got hook shot in place. Parrot could be the play, but I think Paradox is the first step. Down here at the bottom of Paradox. We've got missile pack and more bombs. Let's go to the bigger part of Paradox. See what we have there. The hook shot makes as many Noldorms trivial. While Raylan making their way through escape, Nito gets missile pack. Another missile pack. They'll be plenty well armed as for Metroid. Hurt container. Bombs. And an E-tank. Well, the E-tank is welcome, but Paradox Cave was a bust. That was the no-height Paradox Cave. What a shame. But Nito is showing us a nice bomb jump. So perhaps Hera is the play after all. That was a stand. Raylan continuing on. Gotta avoid those bedrocks. Bombs on the floating island, no need to go there. We're gonna take a dip into Spiral Cave. Without boots, it is a bit of a longer dip, but it is in logic. See what we find there. Raylan, meanwhile, dealing with the chain guard, gets the big key, and will find his lamp. And oh, Spiral Cave is the Moon Pearl. We have Dark World access. Aga 1 is dead. Dark World access. Super Metroid is going to have to wait a little bit longer. We have Dark World access to be terrific. And I would say that's vanilla-esque Pearl, pretty close to Hera, so good call on the chat there. Raylan going into escape. Dark World access, 23 minutes into the seed. And Nito probably going over to Hera still. It is a crystal dungeon, so it has to be cleared anyway. So you might as well go ahead and do it now. It is still clearable. With that lamp, they can do the copy break basement if necessary. Gonna check the ether tablet first. Can't pull it, but we can see if it's something worth value. It's a bottle on ether. That's our first identified bottle for the Sig Kid, but we will probably find another bottle before we have the ability to pull from the ether tablet. But we'll see. Nito into the Tower of Hera, going down first, hoping to see that key that will get him upstairs. And there it is, the big key. Takes the death warp. Raylan going back into the back of Escape, going to go the back route to Dark Cross, and decides against it. We have the big key, we don't have the small key. We're going to do we're doing a Harapot. By mistake. Raylan's trying to do a Houlihan, and does. So Raylan does a Houlihan. My guess is this is going to Zora, which is going to be a good idea because he'll get the hook shot. Haven't seen that Houlihan set up in a while. It's a little bit late into the game, but yes, good call on chat that he was going for a Houlihan and got it. Raylan going down. I'm guessing to go see Zora. We know the hook shot's there, but if Zora has something, that will be a big find because we don't know how long it'll get back over. We've got a map, Tower of Hera. And with the hook shot, they could just go over to the big chest. But instead, it looks like they might be going the desired route, or the intended route, up and down. And indeed they are. In the big chest, Nito finds compass. So we are hoping for an item on Soldorm. Meanwhile, Zora is just a missile pack. There's Scamfish for the scam, but at least the hook shot was left there by a kind Samaritan to make up for the scam. And Raylan's going to get that hook shot now. Meanwhile, Nito going up to fight Soldorm. Hammer strats in effect. Will be doing a lot of damage, but does not have the sword that can just hold out to try to prevent getting flopped off the platform by Soldorm. And commentator's curse, my apologies to Nitorific, falls down all the levels. Please. And that's why Trolldorm is perhaps the most annoying boss in Link to the Past. Right there. Raylan making a beeline 3-step out with the hook shot. We'll see Paradox Cave is empty, but hopefully we'll go to Spiral Cave to get that Moon Pearl. Nito has reclimbed up Tower of Terra and is now ready for round 2 against Trolldorm. Scamfish was a missile pack. So, Scamfish gonna scam. One hit on Trolldorm. Oh, no! Trolldorm just being a good-for-nothing son of a worm today in this race. No sword Trolldorm is incredibly tough. Going up for round 3. Let's hope third time is the charm for Nitorific. Raylan getting the news that Paradox is not stacked today. Come on, Nitorific, we believe in you. Oh, dag nabbit. If only Trolldorm was as damaged as the mini Moldorms by the hook shot, but that is not to be. Down again. Raylan going over to Hera. It is out of character for Nito. I think this is just an off fight. He will beat this worm. I know it. That's 1. That's 2. Come on. Yes! We have our first crystal, and the worm is down. Revenge for Nito, and getting the mirror out of it. Well done. Ironic, but well done and a big find for Nidoריfic getting that mirror. The Dark World Access and the mirror, that'll make exploring a lot better. And that does make Swamp full clearable. That might be where I would beeline. There's so many items in Swamp Palace. It is not a bad choice to go straight there. Meanwhile, Raylan gets Missile Pack and is going to go for the Harapot. You see in chat that they might route Hype Cave in now. Let's hope Hype Cave is more hype than Paradox Cave today. Nido going down to the Dark World Access south of the house. I do think we're going over to Hype Cave first in the swamp. That's my best guess, at least. We get a map check. 3 pendants in the Dark World. We knew the Skull Woods. We got a pennant on Thieves Town, a pennant down in a pennant in Swamp. We've got a Metroid boss in Pod, which means that we've got 3 crystals and a pendant in Metroid. So Swamp maybe isn't the play. There are a lot of items there, but it's a pendant. And Skull Woods is a pendant. So, maybe you don't rush Swamp. What's here in Hype Cave? 20. Varia, Super Missile Pack, First Sword, and Gravity. Hype Cave is very hype. Oh my goodness. Sword and both suits. That's a 10 out of 10 Hype Cave. I know that's calling it a bit high, but wow. My goodness. That is the hypest Hype Cave I may have ever seen. Both suits and a sword. Who get it? What a Hype Cave. And with that suit, Morphle can now be in the dreaded Bubble Mountain location. But let's hope it's not. Nidoריfic is going in to Swamp. I think, even though it's a pennant and it's a red pennant to boot, I think that's the play. There's so much density of items in Swamp Palace. It is worthy of a dip. Yeah, if Morphle was in Swamp Cave 2, the Hype Cave would have been off the charts, illegal in many states, being that good. Yeah, there's going to be at least 1 pennant required. You know, Thieves and Skull are also pendants. Ice Palace is a normal crystal. Yes, we've got that fixed. Thank you, Dynasty. First test in Swamp. What we've got here, Piece of Heart. What's out there? Raylan is probably following in the footsteps. Is about to get the hypest of hype. While I am hyping these guys up, please make sure to follow them. Follow Nidoריfic and Raylan Tanker. These guys are doing a great job so far in this race. Yeah, if Morph is in one of the pendant dungeons and one of them dips one dips the other, that'll be a huge for divergence. I agree with you, Teddy. We will see how that plays out. Raylan, of course, going to Hype Cave first, and that is absolutely the right call. That we know that it is the right call. Gotta say, I'm looking forward to seeing what the stacked links look like with Gravity Suit on Raylan's side. Nothing so far of interest in Swamp Palace. Could be that Thieves or Skull is the right kingdom. If we don't know yet. See what's down here in this Swamp Loot chest. And we've got a map. Maps are great, but Not what they want. And we are doing a left side check for Meteorific. I think that's the right play. If you're in here dipping just for items and not to complete the dungeon, you might as well dip the left side while you're here. Raylan going over back to the desert. Raylan can full clear desert to get a crystal there. That lamp and the glove. Meteorific going for diver down. And nope. Combo tablet, just a heart container. Thank you for pointing that out. I did miss that tip. And gets diver down on the Swamp Palace side. Thank you. Good job, Meteorific. Raylan continuing through Desert Palace. It's a big key. Anything over here on the left side of the swamp is worth a divergence. First item over here on the left side. Oh! The mitts! Oh my! More fallen fertile rock, anybody? Oh my! We might be finishing all of Link to the Past before we even dip Metroid. Oh no! Yes, Pendant LFS is in play here. Ah! The team has never skipped West Wing of Swamp wins again. Pendant Swamp strikes again, yet name it because it has happened again. Nito is continuing through Swamp. Maybe there's something else hidden down here. Will Nito go all the way to Argus? That's the question at this point. Raylan going to the pedestal. Get your ped hype in chat. What could it possibly be? Oh, just a heart piece. Pedestal's dead, unfortunately for us. Fortunately for the runners. Ped is dead. Goodbye, Ped. High jump boots and Swamp. Swamp is loaded. Got high jump boots, and we've got the mitt. Raylan with the mirror may take a Swamp or Skullwood tip is not. Maybe going to Village of Outcasts. That's probably a good play. We'll have to get the Swamp eventually. Nito is going to go fight Argus. I don't think we've seen the big key yet over in Swamp Palace. Argus couldn't have that. I didn't see an Argus. We'll see. Raylan is dipping Skullwood. Finds the big key there. Fighter Sword Argus, not the best, but at least we have Hook Shot. I've seen at least 2 Power Bomb Pack City, so we at least have 10 Power Bombs. There may have been a third, but I know we've seen at least 2. 2 or 3. Not a lot more than that. Is the big key in big key chest, or big key in the big key chest in Swamp? We're about to find out. They take down the Link to the Past version of Phantom. Meanwhile, Raylan is in Village of Outcasts. Ice Rod straps on Argus. That's nice. Behind the Claros is doing some Breath of the Wild. That's the compass on Argus. So I'm thinking the big key is in the big chest. Does get the red pendant, which we know is going to be pointless, but Meteorific doesn't know that. let's play the chess game and over in Village of Outcast. And it's just 10 arrows. So that is a bust today. Gonna dip Thieves Town? Yeah, I mean, Pendant Thieves, I could definitely see dipping it. I know most runners would probably dip the first 4 chests here in the front. The question is, will Raylan go to the back? Bombs in the first chest in Thieves Town. Nito is getting the bad news about the Bombos tablet. Big key for Raylan in Thieves Town. We've got in chat, we've got a call for Bo and Pendant Thieves Town. That's brutal, but we'll see. It could happen. So what's next up here in Thieves Town? Just $5. You're just able to get to a subway footlong, not anymore. And what's in that last chest here in the front? Just a little bit of love. So front of Thieves Town is a bust. Raylan not going to the back and is dipping out of Thieves. Meanwhile, Nitorific gets a Nope tank, which is not really Nope tank. It's a nice tank given how few E-tanks we've seen down in K45. And is going to go check out Stumpy. And Stumpy has for us another missile pack. We've got a lot of missiles when we get over to SM. A sword was found in the brewery, so we do have Master Sword in Raylan's side. Thank you for pointing that out, Committee. I was looking over at Nito's side at the time, so thank you for saying that. We do have Master Sword. We could go get what's on the tablets if they so desired. High five at the digging game, indeed. And we've got a piece of heart. Oh. All those digs. All those digs. Such a shame. Really down to K45, going to get the Nope tank. And we're going to see Jeremiah. He is a bullfrog. He's also a smith. He is a friend of ours. We're going into Smith chain with the mirror. This should be a trivial check. We've also got the hammer for hammer eggs over here. We don't have powder. We do have mushrooms, so they could do a fake powder glitch. No boots, so we gotta do hammer peg the intended way. And let's see with Jeremiah what's down here in hammer pegs. Another pack of power bombs. That's really useful. Now I can guarantee the Bryn loop will be fine when they get over there. But like I said, with all these items in Dark World, it may be a while before we see Samus again. Meanwhile, Raylan's turning in the mushroom. So we've got Jeremiah on one side. Let's see, the mushroom is bombed. But we've got Bombos over from the Smiths. The Smiths are mastercraft and have made the Bombos medallion. Wow, when did they go back to school and learn that skill? Very impressive. Raylan in the water. Not quite sure where they're heading to. Getting into their mirror portal. That's where they're going. Nito's got the purple chest. We're going to turn that in. Ice Palace is open now with the Bombos medallion. We'll see if he dips that. Once they turn in the purple chest. It is going to be pretty close by, and it is a crystal dungeon required. Better than a pendant dip. Piece of heart. the purple chest. It looks like Raylan is about to do their swamp dive, which is going to reward them handsomely, getting those mitts and high jump boots. I'll need a Rupik back up on Death Mountain. Where are they heading? Dark Death Mountain instead. That is probably the good play. Hookshot Cave could be where I have seen more fall in Hookshot Cave before, so it could be there. Meanwhile, Raylan making their way down deeper into the swamp. So the hookshot to flip through those blocks. Let's see what's over here in these caves. Around a Super Bunny. We've got Spring Ball and a big 20. Spring Ball is going to make that power bomb management even nicer. Auto locations just got even easier. Spring Ball, the eternal gift of Shaq Tool. Long may we thank Shaq Tool. And going into the Hookshot Cave. No floating island isn't necessary, but we'll see what's in this chest. Big 20. Another heartbeat. First bottle, Sip Kid now in Logic. And a bomb capacity upgrade. We'll see how long it takes Nito to get back to Kakariko. I'm guessing he might not get there for a while with so many checks to play until we find that flute. We're going to check Turtle Rock now, so it made there. It is Bombos. So Nito might go ahead and open up Turtle Rock. Can't complete it. We don't have Tina Samaria, don't have Fire Rod, but we'll open it up to get that portal. I'm going to go ahead and open it up for later down the line. That makes sense. I like that play. You're already here. Why not? So we'll just have to see what medallion Meyer is to see if we need the Ether medallion. Nito is going into Turtle Rock. Very interesting. Just to get the magic. I see. Makes sense. Yeah, no King of Samaria. No way they can go any further. That's what I was thinking. Back to Sanctuary. Meanwhile, Raylan is still in Swamp. We'll soon be getting that lovely Titan's Mitt. Agreed. The full ice or the full magic container. Chat saying that's necessary if they're going to Ice Palace next, and that would be good. Titan's Mitt on Raylan's side. I will say with the checks right now, they're sort of mirroring each other. Nito is probably a few minutes ahead in checks, but if the Morphball is somewhere that they might not check, then this is still anybody's race. We do have a lamp. Yes, the lamp was in Zelda's cell in Escape. So we do have a fire source. We just don't have fire rock. So once we find the bow, we can do pods. And Eastern. Remember, we haven't dipped Eastern at all yet, so there could still be something in Eastern House. Nidoriphic going to get their Master Sword here. And there it is. Nidoriphic gets their Master Sword. Raylan, meanwhile, doing Diver Down. And gets it. Well done. Gets their high jump boots as the reward. Yes, indeed, the high jump does put a bit of North Air into logic, so who knows? Morphball could be there. Sick Kid has $100. Wow, his allowance is really high. Or he's been visited by the Tooth Fairy a lot recently. We'll never know. A lot of money for the Sick Kid. Alpha Peebs, Morphless Bubble Mountain, they're all in play. Last seed I tracked in comms. Morphball was a Bubble Mountain. That was a hard seed. But we'll see if that first has struck twice. Nito dipping the first 4 chests in Thieves Town. Gonna see that there's only one item in the back. We'll see if they make the same call as Raylan or if they'll continue on to fight blind. Raylan taking down Argus with the Ice Rod. Gets the Missile Pack. Finishes off Swamp Palace. Yes, indeed. The high jump boots, the chat points out, puts the ceiling under Billy Mays in logic as well. In hard mode, that's open up from the beginning, but now that is in logic. So Morphball could be hiding down in Blue Bryn, where it usually would be in vanilla anyway. Nito is going to go to the back of Thieves Town for that last item. I also don't think Nito has checked head yet, so Nito might be thinking he needs to get defended. We'll see. My guess is once they find that last item that he will dip out. Has the hammer just in case the item is in the big chest here. Meanwhile, Raylan going for the Smith chain. We'll get their Bombos medallion out of it. Jeremiah watches along as they go through the hammer peg. Nito on the way to eliminate the situation for blind. In the spirit of blind, I once told somebody that I had trouble beating the Thieves Town final boss, and they said, all you gotta do is just lighten up. That's my bad pun of the day in the spirit of blind. Eaterific is going down there. Raylan gets the Bombos medallion from the Smiths. Going back in again. Do you have another medallion, sir? No, fresh out. Going to get the purple chest. Eaterific going back to blind cell. Hoping there's an item here. There is. That's the dungeon. That finishes the dungeon. And as I suspected, blind will just stay right there. So we won't even see blind's fun. So I'm glad I gave you my purple fun instead. Nito is out of Thieves Town and will continue on. Looks like they might be going up the skull. Meanwhile, Raylan getting over to turn in the purple chest. Maybe checking bumper ledge on the way up. I believe so. Bumper ledge is just a big 20, which is good. I haven't seen the cape yet, so good that that's not an important item. Graveyard ledge could be checked on this route as well. And I think that they are going that way, yes. Graveyard ledge can sometimes be hype. Pyramid and Catfish could also be in this route as well. A good point in the chat. First to the Graveyard ledge. Meanwhile, Raylan is making the dip to ice with that Bombos medallion. And boom! Goes the bombos to open up the first room of ice. Bo at Graveyard Ledge. Hello, our favorite little friend. Bo is found at Graveyard Ledge. That's the play. Eastern Palace now full clearable. Pod now full clearable. How long will it take Raylan to get over there to get that bow? Raylan going further and further into ice. And without Canis Samaria, Icebreaker is not going to happen. This is going to be an old school ice palace. This is the ice palace that people hated and avoided back in the day. Nito going to check the mushroom. Getting their bombs, but more importantly, getting some potions. You don't need them for the potion glitch in pot anymore, but nice safety item to have. If Raylan finds something big here in ice, that could be a big point of divergence. If more fall is here, with as many items as Nito keeps finding, this could be a while before Nito finds it. So don't count Raylan out yet. We will see what they find in ice. Nito going over to Catfish, the Grumpy Fish. We disturb the fish, and we've gotten instead a big 20. Chat pointing out true. If there's something big like Morph and Ice, that could take Raylan even further away from the bow in the Graveyard Ledge. So I guess, I don't know. Do we want Raylan to find something hype in ice or not? I see both sides of that, so we'll see what happens either way. Meanwhile, Nita-Riffic going to go up and check Zora and find out that, surprise, surprise, Zora is running a scam today. Gets that missile tank for the low, low price of 500 rupees. Raylan continuing on their trek through Ice Palace. Their slow, old school check. Let's see where Nita-Riffic is going now. Back into the Dark World. Maybe going down to ice? Maybe to pod? We'll see. Gets the key on Raylan's side. Small key. I think this is a pyramid check on Nita-Riffic's side. I think that's the, yes, we're going over to see what's on the pyramid ledge. This is one of those items in Ice Palace you don't see now that often with Icebreaker, but you do see it in the old. And I miss it looking at the pyramid ledge. Morphball was over in Ice Palace. I'm sorry, I was looking at the pyramid ledge. So Ice Palace absolutely required. Morphball is there. So now we've got a very interesting scenario. Does that help Raylan, or does that send them to Super Metroid where they can do a lot of things and take them away from getting that bow at Graveyard Ledge? Reserve tank at the Pyramid Ledge, not necessary. Nito going over to Pod. Raylan's got to be thinking that they've made the right play here, getting the Morph Ball. So the question is, when will Nito get to Ice? When will Raylan get to Graveyard Ledge? Ice was already required, absolutely. It's just a question of when Nita-Riffic dips it. Bombos. Nenorific hasn't checked Hasbro yet. Going there now. Got a question in chat about the bow being bow locked. The bows are not progressive in SMZ3 as we see here in the chat, so that's the only bow. Silver arrows are on there, so that's it. Raylan's got to get to Graveyard Ledge. But I have a strong suspicion they're going to go to Super Metroid with that Morphball and both suits and all those power bombs and super missiles and the high jump boots and ice beam. I would say Nito is in a much better position at this point. I agree with you, Duke. Raylan taking on Cold Stare. Or the lovely Clouds. Master Sword on these is not easy, but Raylan doing a good job so far. First chest in Eastern Palace is the big key. Raylan good so far. Got 4 hearts. Can he pull it off? One down. 2 down. 2 hearts. Come on, Raylan. You got this. And that's Cold Stare down. Well done. Gets the compass, but gets more importantly the crystal for Ice Palace. Well played for Raylan. That's 2 crystals to Raylan, 1 to Nito. But we still think Nito is in a better position with that bow. And he's about to complete Eastern Palace. Bombs in Eastern, that's one of the items. Not necessary. We can check this big key, or big chest, I should say. We've got the big key already. And it's the map, so we're going to have to continue around. No, going straight for the back. Have we already seen the 2 items? We've seen 1 for sure. You know, making the beeline straight for the Knights, for Armos Knights. And where is Raylan going now? Not making a beeline to SM. That's potentially a good sign. Or maybe they are. Maybe they're going into the dark, into SM through Meridia. They've got flippers, they've got the gravity suit, gonna go straight to Dragon. I don't think I've ever seen the first Metroid play, aside from the very beginning of the game, be Dragon, but here we are. Without Speed Booster, this is the logical way to get to Dragon at this point. It's through the Dark World. Yes, indeed. Charge Beam on the Armos Knights. Nice find for Nenorific. Those red meld links. And the Morphball Super Bunny. That's fantastic. I haven't seen that quite before. This is great. Raylan going up to Dragon. I'm sure wishing that... I think that Raylan would love to have that Charge Beam on Armos Knights. Doesn't have it. Nenorific going into Pod now that they finished Eastern. Chat saying that Nito gambled correctly in Eastern Palace on the Dark Room being not a dungeon item and was correct. First ending Meridia for Raylan. I couldn't see what it was, but let's see. Just a missile pack, so not critical there. Meanwhile, Nito continuing on in pod. We have our first SM boss at 1 hour 4 minutes. We'll see Dragon. Without speed booster and without grapple beam, this is just going to be a shrimp. Not sure what our word is for a shrimp that gets killed with missiles. A pulverized shrimp, perhaps? Tenderized? Certainly not microwaved and not fried. But plenty of super missiles and regular missiles to kill Dragon. Nito going back to the back of pod. Using the power bombs on Raylan's side to clear out some of the goop. Since you're not looking to get picked up for grapple, probably a good idea. And Dragon is down. Now what does Dragon have? We'll find out in a second. Crystal! Not the pendant that's still out there. That's a good thing. So Dragon is required. And what's Dragon hiding? An E-Tank. Yeah, you better get that. We're pretty low on E-Tanks at this point. Nito did get the great layout in pod. Got the big key early. Going back to take care of Helmasaur King. Raylan trying to get out of there. Probably going to have to do a gravity jump. And there's no other logical way to get out of there at this point. And that's actually out of normal logic, but it is doing it. Yes, it's a 5-6 crystal. Good point. So we have one of those. The other 5-6 crystal is also an SM, if I'm correct. So that's one of the two to Pyramid Fairy. Nito going back to the Helmasaur King. Recently saw a list that a streamer had made of their favorite boss in every Zelda game, and they named Helmasaur King as the best boss in the past. Say in the chat if you agree with that. Helmasaur King goes down. Meanwhile, Botwoon in Meridia is guarding a piece of heart. So Raylan's going to take the sand pit down, down, down. Meanwhile, pod and East. Well, pod is done, but we're going to continue in pod because we still have items left. Raylan exploring down in the lower parts of Meridia. Going to try to do the snail clip up to see the items here at Aqueduct. There's the snail. And let's see, we've got nicely done. Big 20. And the flute! That is a big sequence break. That'll help with navigation. Puts Lower Norfair into logic. Because we can get there via the Viserion Manor portal. Raylan's going to save to go check the sand pits. It also gives Raylan an excuse to go back to Kakariko. That is true. Flute's not in logic. Flute is speed booster locked. Good point. It does open up access to Lower Norfair, but it's not logical access to Lower. We may still find the space jump before we find speed boost. First sand pit, we've got $50. I didn't catch what the other thing was. It looked like it could be silver arrows, but I'm not sure. It is silver arrows. Okay, may go back and get that around to the second pit. Going over to check the right sand pit. Doesn't have grapple beam. Does have ice beam, so does Raylan check shaft? Continuing their path through pod. Just arrows in the right sand pit. Not continuing, so not going over to Shack. Nito is in the dark maze in pod. Gets bombs. And that's our last item in pod. Which route is Raylan going to take? We know that Raylan wants the silver arrows, I would imagine. The question is getting back there. An E-Tank over here in the beach at Meridia. Watering hole. Let's see. Nito doing the Ice Palace dip does not have red cane, so it won't be all that much quicker than Raylan's Ice Palace. But he will be getting his Morphball. Down here, Raylan finds $50, piece of heart, doesn't want either one. So we know what Nito's going to find. We know Nito's going to find the Morphball. The interesting question right now is, will Raylan find anything in Meridia that makes this play worth his time? Aside from the obvious Dragon kill. We found the flute. It's out of logic. Is there anything in logic that makes this the right play? Finding Speed Booster would make that a lot clearer. Gonna go check Mama Turtle now. First item in Mama Turtle is bombs. And we've got Super Missile Pack. I think they want that one, yes. Missile Pack, nicely done for Raylan. Picks up 5 more Super Missiles. They've got 730 in the tank. But of course, the refill is nowhere near. They'll probably go scope out Main Street. Can't get the Main Street item, but we can see what it is. Just a big 20 and a heart container, so nothing there worth going out of their way. So Raylan finishes Meridia, having found the flute out of logic and killing and getting a 5/6 crystal. Biddy pointing out in the chat that flute didn't even open anything out of logic because Meyer and Lord Northfair was successful via a lava dive. It does make access much easier. That is absolutely correct. Raylan going over to check the Spazer location. Tube clip on Raylan's side, very nicely done. Have to wait annoyingly for that block to respawn on Raylan's side to go check the Spazer location. Big 20 at Spazer. Picking up continue on left. No, going back right. Over to Kraid, perhaps? Kraid is a fairly quick boss, even if he is a pendant, which we don't know. But checking Kraid here makes all logical sense. Nito getting their Morphball and getting a few sword swipes for their trouble. But has to go ahead and finish the dungeon off. Raylan continuing on to fight Kraid. Can use the wave beam, sees that E-Tank, doesn't want it. A bold move, let's see if it pays off. And Mini Kraid goes down. And Raylan's into Kraid. Will we see the Kraid DLC today? Let's find out. And we will. That hand blocked in just the right time, so we do see the stand-up glitch from Kraid, the other stand-up glitch. Raylan should still be able to take Kraid down pretty easily. And down goes Kraid. Was Kraid hyping anything? There's the 6th crystal. So that means that Water Pyramid Fairy is now open. And there's the grapple beam. Oh, feels bad. Just finished Meridia. Now you got the grapple beam that could have put some of that easier, and Shack Tool now much easier access than with the ice beam. Something tells me though that Raylan's not going to make a beeline straight back to Meridia. If there is an important item on Shack, it might be orphaned at this point. Nito going down to fight Cold Stare. The same complements of weaponry that Raylan had. Master Sword, Bombos, Hookshot, Hammer. E-Tank location in Kraid is just a big 20. So nothing too much of interest at Kraid, but we did get the red crystal. And the boss is down. Acquired boss. Raylan going back down to Business Center. Will they go back down or back into Link to the Past, or will they continue through Norfair? We're going back to high jump boots. Nito doing a pretty good job on Cold Stare. Got good amount of hearts. Missile Tank over here at high jump boots. What's that? Vanilla high jump. Just a big 20. Nothing there of interest. So Raylan is going to backtrack out of there. Down to 2 puffs on Nito's side. 1 puff remaining. And see 1 or 2 more hits on Nito's side. One more hit, and poof goes the puff. Well done, Nito. Gets the compass, but more importantly, gets the crystal, and Ice Palace is no more. Raylan does go back to Link to the Past, only has 1 heart, gonna have to be careful over here. We know that Raylan needs to make a beeline for Graveyard Ledge. He doesn't know that. He's got plenty of dungeons he can work on, so I doubt Graveyard Ledge is front and center on his mind. Nito going into SM, and unlike Raylan going to the ship. But will he go to Bryn, or will he go over to Wreck Ship? Going down, or at least going toward Bryn Star. Nope, going up to Gauntlet. Doesn't have Screw Attack, but does have Gravity Suit and Various Suit, which makes this a little bit better. Raylan gets their Spring Ball. In chat, Biddy pointing out that Raylan needs to find the boots, as that would get them on route to King's Tomb and Bonk Rocks, which would put Graveyard Ledge in that route, and I have to agree, boots would at least get them on the right path. Hope that Raylan finds them. Raylan sees that Turtle Rock is Bombos. Nito gets arrows in the front of Gauntlet, nothing there. I'm going to continue to the back of Gauntlet, which tells me that it might be going on a full Bryn loop here. Bryn skip is the dream, but rarely ever is possible. Although the way this seed is going up, maybe it would be. Well, don't know. Boomerang in the back of Gauntlet. We'll pick that up and got a missile pack as well. Going down, Raylan back to the sanctuary. We'll see where Raylan's going. They're in the area for Graveyard Ledge. Let's hope they go that direction. Going down. Will they open Turian? Yes, Turian's open in advance. I like that play. Conserve your missiles later when you need them. Raylan is activating the flute and Kakariko. Good call in the chat. With that flute, he could go over. Well, he could go to Pod, but why doesn't have the bow? My guess is he's going to go to Meyer and lower Norfair. At least scope out what the Meyer medallion is. If Meyer is Ether, then that's going to make this race go a little bit longer because we have no idea where that medallion's at. Meanwhile, Nito going into the speed booster room in Brinstar. And there's Ether. As I said, we don't know where it's at. There it is. Commentator's Blessing. In the back of the room, we have a missile pack, another power bomb pack, another missile pack. We'll at least get the power bomb pack. I did miss the sick kid check. I don't know if that was anything. We do see Nitorific getting the Ether, all medallions. And let's see on the right, is Meyer Ether? Don't quite know yet, but we're going into the Meyer shed. Nice mirror cancel for another missile pack, another E-tank. Meanwhile, Nitorific's going to go down and see the Yatakuns. Raylan could spring ball jump up to go defeat Ridley if he would like to. I think we're first going to see Checkerboard Cave. First shield down here at Akune's area. Super missile pack. Raylan going into the Checkerboard Cave. There's more fall bombs. That's a can fly item. That puts criteria power bombs in logic. Puts lower Norfair first room in the game in logic. That's a big find there for Raylan and Checkerboard Cave. But if anything, it'll lead them even further away from the bow. Raylan's going to go ahead and clean up Desert Palace while he's here. Makes sense. You have to do it eventually. Might as well do it while you're here. And that is true. Without the flute, Checkerboard Cave is not actually in logic. So we do need speed booster or space jump. Thank you, our tracker, Excalibur123, pointing that out. Accessible, can do those places, but not in logic, not in normal mode. Second shield here. In Pink Bryn, going over to Mission Impossible. These side hoppers can do a heck of a lot of damage, so they have to be very careful on them. Going down for 50 bucks. And we'll leave out the bottom. Meanwhile, on Raylan's side, blink and you miss it. With this fight, Landmo is down. Gets the compass. We knew it wasn't an item, but it is a required crystal. One more crystal for Raylan. That's their third crystal of the match. Sorry, that's their third Zelda crystal in Zelda. That's their fifth crystal, because we know that we had red crystals on Kraid and on Dragon. So only two crystals left for Raylan. Raylan back into SM. Going into lower Norfair. Gonna go see Gold Torizo first. Heart piece at Spore Spawn. Skip. See what is Golden Chorizo hiding? The Power Bomb will show all. We'll see if Raylan gets on getting rid of missiles. To avoid the worst attacks of Golden Chorizo. Meanwhile, Nidoריfic is in the room that went into logic fairly early on in this race with Wave Beam. Still did the special clear. I think they forgot they had Wave. We got it so early on. And for a piece of heart. Meanwhile, Raylan crouching on GT's foot. That is the right play. GT can't hit you if you're waiting on their foot. Farming. GT's expectorated projectiles, I'll call them, to get super missiles. Nidoריfic in Green Hill Zone finds more super missiles. Nidoריfic's going to go into Blue Bryn. Raylan's still farming. Arrow capacity upgrade at Blue Bryn, not necessary. Power Bomb at the original Morph Ball pedestal, that's nice. Not progression, but always nice to get more Power Bombs. Nido does not have the Morph Ball bombs yet, like Raylan. First item in GT is 300 rupees and a big 20, so it's just money. Fire Rod at Alpha Missiles. Ho ho! Hello, Fire Rod. Skull Wood's now completable, and just a red cane away from completing Turtle Rock. X-ray scope. We are a plasma beam away from microwave, and Nido could microwave both Dragon and Phantom. Raylan doing an infinite bomb jump to get out of the screw attack area. Redarang up here in Billy Mays, but not too much, not worth the shipping and handling to order those items from Billy Mays room, unfortunately. Samaria is the only item left for go mode, so we are go -1 as far as we can tell. Yes, and this logically means Fire Rod was locked behind Ice Palace. So Bombos was the logical access ice, so via the Smith chain. Raylan farming up here at Lower Norfair. Chat making the point this might be a case when they would have wanted to reset at the ship, so they had full supers going to LN, but Raylan is not taking that route. Farmed up to super. They've got 30 supers now. Old Mother Brain is the magic cape. We know Bumper Ledge is not necessary, but that's a nice safety item. Raylan continuing their journey here in Lower Norfair. Yes, Nido is, I think chat's right. I think Nido is go -1 with Samaria. The flute is behind Speed Booster, but it's not necessarily required. Power Bombs in here at Criteria Supers. That's a good find, or good to know, because that means Speed Booster is not required for this. But I do think that in normal mode, I believe that Nido needs to find. Well, no, it can fly. The Morph Ball bombs do put I'm not actually sure, chat. Did the morph ball bombs put Lower Norfair Lava Dive in logic with Gravity Suit, or do you need to have Space Jump? Power bombs in Mickey Mouse room on Lower Norfair. Not the Lava Dive. Okay. So logically, Nito needs to find Speed Booster or the Space Jump. Since we know Flute is locked behind Speed Booster. That logic is a suggestion to a player like Nitorific, so I wouldn't be shocked to see them eventually go clip it. I missed what happened over here. Nito going to bomb Chorizo. Just $5 over there. Vinny pointing out in chat, you can use regular bombs to get through the lava dive, but you still need to either space jump to activate the Chozo above GT, which is in logic, or to gate glitch through the Ripper room, which is out of logic. So thank you, Vinny, for clarifying that. We are in the logic weeds on that access, since that Flute is locked behind Speed Booster. Power Bombs of Shame is the screw attack. Well, that's nice. A little late, but still nice. You're in Lower Norfair, you'll take it. And considering Raylan hasn't done anything in Wreck Ship yet, or the Bryn Loop, very much welcome. Nito going over toward the Wreck Ship, finds 10 arrows in the moat, doesn't need those. Does not have the grapple beam behind Kraid. Doesn't have the morph ball bombs either, so this could be a gravity jump situation for Nito. And indeed it is. Not quite getting it on the first attempt. Raylan taking the top side approach. Nope, going for the hot tub. No, not enough health, really. Raylan's health is low going into Ridley here. And not enough supers to Crystal Flash. A bottle in the ocean for Nito. Hasn't checked that kid yet. I'm sure they will soon. Raylan is now farming, hoping for health and supers. Getting health first, then we'll probably get the super missile. We're getting a little bit of both. Meanwhile, Nito has made their way over to the wreck ship. We'll check Spooky Missiles first. Spooky Missiles is you want to check this room before you beat Phantoon because the spikes will not do damage if Phantoon is not killed because the spikes are still off. There's the speed booster. So there is the logical access to a lot of things, to the flute and to Lower Norfair. Yeah, we have a question. Is 30 supers enough for Ridley? Yes, it is. But you have to hit all of them. Now, we've got missiles. We've got Charge Beam. Actually, no, sorry. Raylan doesn't have Charge Beam. Raylan's going to be fighting a very tenuous battle here with Ridley. Let's hope it goes well. Flute and bombs are now in logic thanks to finding the speed booster. And we know that Wreck Ship is in logic because of the grapple beam behind Kraid. So the game intended you to go fight Kraid, get the grapple beam, go to Wreck Ship, get the speed booster, then go to Meridia to get the flute to get your access to Lower Norfair. Or to get your bombs, either way. Absolutely correct. Speed Booster being in Wreckship is very convenient. Bowling Alley will not be isolated. And we already know the criteria supers is nothing. So the only question mark for supers is Waterway. If there's something at Waterway, it could take Neorific a while to get back over there. Braylon, it will depend on if they check Bryn before they check Wreckship or not. Braylon is in their Ridley fight. Nito's in their Fantoon fight. And Ridley is down. Well done, Raylan. Got everything perfectly fought. Amazing fight. Gets the crystal. So now we know Fantoon is going to be the pendant. Nito about to get the bad news. Oh, wait. Nito's Kraid. Okay. My mistake. It's a Kraid token. You are correct. All three pendants were in Dark World. You are correct. My mistake. So good news. They're all required. It's like an old school SMZ3 seed. All of the SM bosses are required today. Raylan on his escape out of Lower Norfair. Nito, meanwhile, exploring the rest of the wrecked ship. Finding more super missiles. Never going to say no to those. The question now is who's going to come across Samaria first. That's what we're really looking for. Raylan has a lot of things that they need to find. Raylan needs to find the bow at Graveyard Ledge. She needs to get the Fire Rod at Alpha Missile. Nito really would like to get the flute in Meridia. Not required, but would be nice. But really, Samaria. That's the question. And if Raylan finds Samaria first, or finds boots to get them on the route back toward the bow at the Graveyard Ledge, this is not a done deal yet. But if Nito finds the cane first, it'll be a very hard road for Raylan to come back. Nito going into Spiky Room of Death. Gets through it no problem. Just the missile pack at the giant Ridley statue here in Lower Norfair. Ridley is just a bit full of himself, building that statue into the rock. What's here at Wreckship Reserve? Just $50. Not a high enough price for the Spiky Room of Death, and Nito resets to the save point. Not a bad play. Raylan going up into Lower Norfair, up out of it. Finds the bug catching net, gonna leave that behind, and there was nothing in the power bombs jail worth getting. So the last room over here, under Three Musketeers. It is just more bombs. So now we need to take out with Three Musketeers. The screw attack, it is trivial. So now will Raylan look through Upper Norfair to find, well, we know the only thing they can find left that would really be all that useful is Red Cane. Space Jump would be welcome, not required, but it would be a nice find. We know Charge Beam is here. Plasma Beam would be nice again, but not required. Nito going through the attic at Wreckship. Raylan finds more arrows going toward the Wave Beam location. And the Mirror Shield. So all three shields are in Super Metroid. Nito has the Mirror Shield. It'll be nice for Laser Bridge down the line. Blue Cane. It's a cane, but not the one we wanted. However, it does put Spike Cave in line. We already had Magic Cape, but it puts Spike Cave in logic for Raylan the other way with the Cane of Burn. Using Grapple to its intended purpose. You don't often see that. Nito going straight down, and he's going to scout out what's the item here, and it is just a missile pack, so no need to go spark up there to get that. I'm guessing now they will spark up and check the missiles in the sky. and that is Phaser. Which without Plasma, Phaser is a nice upgrade. We'll take it. Raylan going to check Vanilla Speed Booster. We know Speed Booster isn't here, but maybe the Red Cane is. It's Boots! That's about as good as you can find for Raylan, because that maybe will get Raylan on the right track. Let's hope that Raylan takes those boots to goes and Champ King's Tomb, and Bong Paroxysm in the middle decides to stop at Graveyard Ledge, because then Raylan will get that bow. Meanwhile, Nidorific is going bowling. It's the dreaded 7-10 split down at the bottom, so we'll see if the Chozo can pick up the spare. And the Chozo just drops the ball instead and has committed a fault. If this were Wii Bowling, the characters would be judging him most severely right now. But it's not, so the Chozo can move on. As does Nidorific. Raylan is in the Norfair Reserve area. Let's see what Raylan finds. A reserve tank and the Tempered Sword. Meanwhile, Nito got the shovel. Fetch quest in effect. Maybe the shovel. Maybe he'll dig up the Cane of Samaria. There's super missiles here at the end. Again, always welcome. Raylan making their way out of this room. Tempered sword in hand. Hopefully these items are screaming to Raylan. Yes, indeed. Meanwhile, going down to the red tower, check out Alpha Power Bombs. Let's see what's over here at Power Bomb. Heart container. Oh, well, they'll take it. They'll definitely take it. Raylan is trying to farm here. Get some more supers. Raylan was going to save and decided against it. Interesting. Okay, got more supers there. Up to 7. Is going to save now. Meanwhile, Nito and Alpha Powerman finds Plasma. We've got a microwave beam. So we can have some microwave shrimp when he gets over to Meridia and a piece of love. That is the full beam combination on Nito's side. We've got everything. We've got charge, we've got ice, we've got wave, we've got plasma, and yes, we even have the beam phaser, even though it'll never be turned on. So we've got a very crispy beam over on Nidoric's side. Meanwhile, Raylan taking on Crockemeyer, who learned to dance while watching the MTV Awards back in 1980s, and only likes to do the moonwalk. Unfortunately, he moonwalks himself right into an acid pit. For Crockemeyer, we hardly knew ye. Big 20 over there, that was his tip money for doing the moonwalk. Little did everyone know that Crockemeyer had a side gig dancing in the subway. Nito going over New Bridge. Raylan waiting for Croc's bones to come back up. We do have it point out in the chat, it's a free Crockemeyer fight. For Nito, it is absolutely a free Croc fight when he gets down here. It wasn't all that hard for Raylan, but it'll be a free fight for Nito. Raylan's going to continue on and see what's behind Crockemeyer. If the red cane is down here, this is absolutely the right play. If it's not, then it's basically a pendant dip. Nito going over to the waterway. So we'll answer that question now. If waterway is red cane, that puts him very much in the lead. Confirms it, and it puts him into go mode. Missile pack there. Just a little bit of love at the waterway, so not what we're hoping for. Raylan farming up. Alright. Not quite sure. Raylan's up to 10 super missiles. Not sure how many he's trying to farm up before he goes down into the rest of Crocomeyer's area. Nito continuing in the red tower area. Could be going to check X-ray. I think that is the play, yes. Raylan going for the green gate glitch and gets it. Well done. Meanwhile, Nito is going through this area without space jump or grapple beam. It's a difficult check, but has enough health and with the gravity suit and various suit to do it. Uses ice beam for its intended purpose and gets over to check an X-ray. Super missiles at grapple, just a missile pack at X-ray. Biddy pointing out in the chat that Raylan is going in reverse to let they try Indiana Jones strats. And yes, so far so good. And oh! Now the IBJ is going to go into effect for Indiana Jones. Oh, feels bad. So close. That is a very, very difficult play. Grapple is one of those items that is so fickle. And not just in this game, I think in most games, most Metroidvanias that have grapple beams, it's never the easiest item to use, but especially Indiana Jones here. Raylan's trying to get the IBJ. This is definitely one of the worst IBJs in the game. You're going to check the phaser location, seeing that there's Big 20 over there. Just a little bit of love at Indiana Jones. Good job, Raylan, to check that. Very nice recovery. Nito is going to go up to Meridia. And with that speed booster, Nito is going to get the flute. Which we can only assume is going to translate into Nito getting the morph ball bombs at Checkerboard Cave eventually. Super missile at the cosine room, so nothing required at Crocomeyer. Crocomeyer was not the play today, so don't bet on Croc today. Instead, bet on left side of Swamp. So we'll see if Nito doesn't dip Croc. That's going to be a time save for him. Raylan going back up. Nice grapple strats here. Finding a little bit of love. Nito using the spark to get up to the aqueduct area. Not aqueduct area, I misspoke, but getting up to the beach of Meridia. Where is Raylan off to? He's off to the rest of Upper North. Gonna check Cathedral is my suspicion here. Maybe Cathedral is the answer. It is not. It's Power Bomb, so Raylan resets out of there. Need a rip it going through Meridia. Raylan is heading Over to Ice Beam. Nice mock ball. Gonna check Crumble Tower first. $50. And Nito gets their flute. Let's see if Raylan goes and checks Ice Beam. I'm sure they will. That red cane is being all elusive here today. Maybe it's here in the Ice Beam spot. We'll find out. It is not. Missile Pack. Raylan resets again. Nito going into the sand pits. Nito is going to see the silvers. Well, they keep them. He did the right sand pit first. Nito does not have Grapple Beam, but they're going down in the spot that indicates they might be going to Shack, and they are. They're going to do the Ice Clip up to Shack, I think. Video in the chat saying the best thing right now for Raylan would be to find Samaria at Bonk Rocks or King's Tube, and I have to agree with that. Not only would that catch him up, it would put him probably fairly in the lead. He is back in Link to the Past. Let's see where he's going. My guess is Pyramid Fairy, because he's got both of those crystals from SM. Meteorific has made their way over to Shack Tool. He is our friend. It is our friend. I don't want to assume with Shack Tool. Very much our friend indeed. Just does his business very slowly but efficiently. First try Ice Clip was very, very well done, by the way. I was looking at what Raylan was doing with that. I thought I had a little more time, but Meteorific got in there very quickly. Very impressive. Let's see what Shack has. Is Shack the answer? No, just a big 20. That was Shack's yearly salary. He's unfortunately not in the union. Nito continuing on. Raylan finds the blue mail in Pyramid Fairy. Not what they're looking for, but is going to get a free potion here at the Pyramid Fairy. Always a green potion in SMZ3. So the magic will be refilled later when he needs it. So now Nito is going to spot their supers, their silvers, and doesn't take them. Interesting. Perhaps we'll route them back in. Is Raylan making the route? Is this the Graveyard Ledge play? Let's hope so. We're going over to King's Tomb. King's Tomb first. If Samari isn't here, that is huge. It's the single arrow of destiny. We know Graveyard Ledge is next. He's gonna get the bow. Maybe Bonkrox is the play. We'll find out in just a minute. Meanwhile, Meteorific's gonna fight Botchwound. Gonna microwave Botchwound. Microwaved eel, anybody? Could be a delicacy. Botwound's hitbox is is not quite great, so you can't just microwave him in one shot, but he is microwaved. Nutritious eel. Raylan gets the bow at Graveyard Ledge, and I'm sure he's happy to see it. Raylan will probably continue on to Bonkrox. Meteorific on their way to Shrimp. Eel first, then Shrimp. All microwaved. Nito is having a buffet here. Raylan over to Bonkrox again. If Samari is here, this is massive. It's Space Jump, not Samaria. It's a nice item. It's very convenient. They've already done Lower Norfair. But it's nice to have. Not what he's looking for. Raylan needs to get to Blue Brinstar at this point to get the Fire Rod. We know that. And then Samaria, we don't know yet. It could be in Misery Mire. I don't know if there's anywhere in Metroid that we haven't seen yet between the two runners. So put your guesses in chat. Where is this red cane? It can't be in TR because the first chest in TR is behind it. Braylon going up to Catfish. It could be in the shovel spot. There's an item left in Skullwood's Plasma Beam Room. Indeed, Spike Cave. It could be the Green Pendant. So that's the spots laid out in chat. We have Dig Spot, Spike Cave, Green Pendant, which remember the Green Pendant is in Skull, Mire itself, and Plasma Beam Room. Dragon down on Nito's side. Raylan is taking that bow and is beelining to Pod. We know Pod is the God mode layout, but since he's still looking for at least 2 major items, I think he's still going to check everything. But we'll see if he does the same play as Nito and goes straight to the back to Helmasaur first. Have we seen Criteria Super? The power bombs above the ship. Maybe that's a spot. I don't think we've seen those yet. Criteria power bombs. I don't recall seeing those yet. That could be a potential spot. Make sure you give both of these runners a follow. They are playing amazingly well. This seed has been both giving and has been difficult in its own ways. So give Nitorific and Raylan Tanker a follow. They're doing a great job. Please give a follow to our tracker as well, Pixcaliber123, keeping me along the correct path here. I much appreciate it. Raylan getting their 10 sticks in Pod. Nito going to the Plasma Room. Let's see what we have here. If this is the answer, then Nito is in go mode. It is not the answer, just the missile pack. Nito resets out of there. Viddy in chat guessing that Nito is going to go to Spike Room, Spike Cave, and then go to activate the flute. That makes sense to me as a route, but then again, I would not have anticipated Braylon going straight through the Dark World portal to Meridia as their first step into SM, so I'm not trying to guess with 100% the routes these runners are going to take. Braylon getting their big key for Pod. And Raylan is going to go ahead and go back and fight the Helmasaur King. Yes, agreed. The chat's pointing out that the next question is, will Nito dip Mire before going to Lower Norfair? We know Lower Norfair is not the play, but Nito knows Lower Norfair is required, but of course so is Mire. Mire is Bombos, so fully accessible. But even if it wasn't, he's got all 3 medallions. We'll see. My suspicion is with the flute, they'll dip Meyer. They'll dip Meyer before going into Lower Norfair. Maybe Meyer will have the cane. But without the red cane, you can't finish Meyer, and if the cane isn't in there, it's a double dip. So it's a tough call. Nito is back down in the sand pit to pick up her silver arrows. I agree with this play. That'll make the Ganon fight a lot simpler here at the end. Also makes Vitreous significantly easier in Meyer. Raylan uses a bomb to get the first chunk of the mask off of Palmasaur King. Exposes the weak spot and now uses the Tempered Sword, slashes, and down goes Palmasaur King. Well done for Raylan. It's another SM boss for him. That's the Ridley token, specifically. Now Nito is going over to Kraid to get that grapple beam. A little bit late, but he did check Shaq with that flawless ice clip, so he won't feel as bad. Raylan has orphaned Shaq, remember? Raylan doesn't know that Shaq is nothing, but it could be in the back of his mind. Nito sees that E-Tank, but is going to instead say, no, I don't need it. And go down to fight Kraid. We already saw Kraid DLC on Raylan's side. Are we going to see DLC on Nito's side as well? Let's check it out. No! We're gonna... Yeah. Kraid's hand got in the way again. 2 DLCs for Kraid. Nito should still have no problem taking down the beast. Ha ha! In chat, Kraid swatting down supers like Timmy Matumbo. No quick kill for you. No, no, no. Grappling beam for Nitorific. The completionist in me likes that he now has the full icons along the top of his Metroid screen, but that's neither here nor there. Raylan continuing through Eastern Palace. We know that neither one of these runners is going to find some area where they're at, but they're both doing required things, so they both have to take care of it. Does Nito go down to Lower Norfair now is the question. And if so, what route do they take? They have Speed Booster, they don't necessarily have to go back and activate the flute. They could just go the intended route within SM. Back down to Business Center. Not going back to Zelda. Gonna check the high jump first. Railing into the dark room of Eastern Palace. Very impressive wall jump into a morph to get out of the high jump area by Nitorific. Well done. Raylan's going to find out this is a dungeon, I do believe, and yes, that is a compass. Nito sees that Kronk escape as a piece of heart. Let's hope they don't go fight Kronk. That would be a waste of time, but it would be good for Raylan if they do. Back into Zelda. So I think they're going to take Viddy's suggested route in chat, go activate the flute, and then make their way over to Lower Norfair area, to the Mire area via that route. That's the best guess. Going up. With the hammer. Okay. This is probably going to be a spike cave check. Indeed. So this is one of our spots. And the Magic Cape. It's his method to get through here. Let's see, is Spike Cave to play? No. Tour Missiles. Take that one away. So we've got the shovel spot left. Meanwhile, Raylan gets their charge beam from the Armos Knights. We've got the shovel spot, we have the green pendant, and we have Mire. And that's it, as far as I can tell. And maybe the power bombs above over here, maybe they'll go up. I think that is the play. Yes. Picking criteria power bombs. I mentioned this one earlier. I forgot about this one, but this one could be it as well. It is not. Big 20. So take that one out. Whew. Raylan with his space jump, checking it at the same time. Nice high five. Both getting the bad news at exactly the same time. Going back down. My guess is Nito is going to go back into Zelda and activate the flute. And indeed, he is going into Zelda. Raylan is going toward the wrecked ship. We'll finish the SM bosses, aside from Mother Brain this way. We'll get the speed booster to put everything they found since flute back into logic. We need to get down into Blue Bryn to get the fire rod. Going down to the Red Tower first. That's intriguing, but an interesting play nonetheless. Nito back into Zelda, back into the Dark World. Probably going for the Pyramid Fairy. Yes, we know that's not going to be the play, but they don't know that. Dwarf runners are completing checks we've seen on the other side. We know that we've got to see them go to Mire. We've got to see them go to the dig spot, not digging game, the dig spot with the shovel, or turn in the green pendant from Skull Woods. Those are the only three places that Samaria can be as best as we can tell. Unless we're missing something obvious. Nito still needs to go to Desert, still needs to fight Ridley and Lower Norfair. Raylan still needs to go to Wreck Ship. As Viddy points out in chat, if no Samaria is found after all that, Raylan may be in the lead. That is a good point. Nito's still got Lower Norfair, so that's a big time suck. Desert should be quick, but Lower Norfair is going to take some time. It'd be much better for him if he could get to Lower Norfair in go mode. It's a linear dungeon, but he doesn't have to check anything. Mire in go mode is perhaps the best potential spot. Nito is going to the dig spot. This is going to take out another possibility. Come on, Kane. Oh, red mail. Nice. It's nice. It's the wrong red item. So we're down to Mire and Green Pendant Skull. Is there a second item in Skull, perhaps, besides the Green Pendant? Maybe that's the answer, is to go to Skull Woods. And I think that's where Nito's going based on the route. Well, he's activating the flute. He may be going to Meyer first. I don't know. I might go to Skull's quicker than Meyer. I might finish Skull, take out Moth, and then go to Meyer. But Meyer's required, so it could be in Skull. It could be the green pendant. Yeah, I think I would do that first, so you wouldn't have to double dip Meyer, because then we would know that Kane is in Meyer, so it wouldn't be a double dip. But he doesn't know that. But he is going to go down to 6 to the Meyer area. Does he do Meyer first, or does he go to LN? That's the question. Checkerboard is Morph Ball bombs. It'd be nice to get those, not required. Raylan is in their fight with Fantoon. E-Tank and a missile pack for Nito in the shed. We knew that already. Nothing great there. The only prize over here really is in Checkerboard Cave. But he does need to finish Desert, and he's doing that now. So that'll be one less thing to worry about. Ooh, the mirror portal. Not quite in the right spot. Raylan, meanwhile, trying to take out the space squid. Looks like he's almost down. I don't know if he wants to risk a super missile on him quite yet. Regular missiles instead, finishes him off. Down goes the space squid. We have Calamari. And that finishes the Super Metroid bosses for Raylan. Well, the actual bosses in SM. There is an SM token left in Meyer. An SM token left in Meyer, and there's a crystal left in Turtle Rock. So we can't go fight Mother Brain or Ganon just yet. Nito is going to go clean up Desert. Raylan has the crystal and boss lead at this point, but where Nito is going to be just down one. Granted, the one that he's down after this is going to be Ridley, and that's a big one, considering how long it takes to get down to Ridley, but he is just down one. Raylan getting his supers over here. Wreck ship. So where does Nito go? Does Nito dip Meyer, which we know is the only logical play to get him the cane? Or does he go to Lower Norfair first? My suspicion for item density is that he goes to Lower Norfair, especially since the cane is required to complete Meyer. Checkerboard first, he'll get the Morph Ball bombs. The item that you get second in SM is the item we're getting second to last here in this seed, ironically enough, in terms of items that are useful. Raylan getting through Spike Hero of Death, like the pro that he is. But will not be rewarded for it at Wreck Ship Reserve. Getting the missile pack. To fight GT. GT just has a lot of, well, not even a lot of money. Kind of, 320 bucks. Nito is in the perfect spot on his foot. GT is like Achilles. You stay on his heel and he will go down. There's your mythology reference for today. Meanwhile, Raylan clearing out the wreck ship attic. You've got to clear out all the enemies in the attic to open up the doors on either side. but if you go ahead and clear out the enemies and open up the left side door, you don't have to clear them out again when you're coming back from checking the attic item on the right. So that is what most runners will do. That is what Raylan has done. Nito, not needing to farm, unlike Raylan, is going to go straight toward Ridley. Building up a spark and gets through all the pillars. Very nicely played. He will get the screw attack at Power Bombs of Shame, which will be nice. A little bit belated, but still a nice find. Does not have space jump yet, so he's the worst room in the game. He's using wall jumps. These are pixel perfect wall jumps, so pretty darn close, and gets it. Very well done. Impressive on the terrific side. Raylan sees that the missile tank is not needed. Over at Rexship, E-tank over here. Probably going to use Speed Booster to check the missiles in the sky, or Space Jump. Gets the Spazer. Nito hasn't checked Croc yet, so there's a chance after Lower Norfair he could go to Croc. My hope is that after he finishes Ridley, he will go back into Meyer, but we will have to see. Raylan going bowling. Shows another spot, another chance to pick up the spare. Going down. Something is quite comical about bowling a bunny. Don't think bunny ears would be all aerodynamic on a bowling ball. And the Chozo, oh, the Chozo choked again and drops it. So what does Raylan have left to check? Well, Raylan does have the shovel spot. Meyer. Raylan hasn't checked the back of Thieves. That is absolutely right. So Raylan hasn't checked the back of Thieves down. Has Raylan checked Dark Cross? I know he orphaned it a while back. I don't know if he's been there or not. Need to rip into the Ridley fight. He did that earlier. Okay, he did check Dark Cross. Okay. Nito taking care of business with Ridley. Raylan, oh, Gauntlet. Raylan hasn't checked Gauntlet yet. Will not get rewarded over here, but one less thing for him to worry about. With Screw Attack and Space Jump, Gauntlet is free, essentially. Ridley goes down. He's getting his punishment for kidnapping the baby. Big 20 behind Ridley. We know that's not what he wants. And out of Ridley we go. Raylan will get their Bloomerang. Or decides they don't want it. And to be fair, they don't need it. Terminator hadn't been checked yet on Raylan's side, but it's a big 300, but does not need it at this point. I think Raylan maybe hasn't checked Brinstar. I think you might be right. He was trying for the Bryn skip, which ironically he probably could still have gone. He doesn't know that. Yeah, he's going through Brinstar now. Ooh. I mean, it's the right play for item density, but it's the wrong play just based on where we know the items are. So who gets through first? Does Raylan get through the Bryn loop first, or does Nito clean up LN? I think Nito's going to finish LN a little ahead, but is Nito going to go to Croc, or is he going to go to Meyer? Because we know the answer is Meyer or Skull. Skull via either Skull itself or the green pendant. Okay, yeah. If he cleans up all of Norfair, including and then that will equalize it. Raylan finishes. Raylan getting their shield. Terrific. Last item in Lower Norfair, of course, is nothing. Three Musketeers are also nothing with Screw Attack. The Edacoon is greeting Raylan. I wish they could tell him we don't have anything of value, but they can't. Just a missile pack for his trouble, which he doesn't need. But he does get the mock ball out of there. Well done, Raylan. Meanwhile, Nito is going through the wave beam area. And we'll find the Cane of Berna, but doesn't want it. Has the magic tape, does not need another safety item like that. Raylan sees the second shield, leaves it behind. This Red Cane search is continuing. If you're just joining us, we are still searching for Red Cane. Between the two runners, we know the Red Cane is either in Misery Skullwoods or the Green Pendant from Skullwoods. Those are the only places where the Red Cane can be. So it essentially right now it is a question of which runner goes to the right spot first. Nito gets their boots, but we know that Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb are not the answer. However, that does avoid the problem if for some reason Cannon's Tower is boots locked in that one out of 23 spot odds. That's no longer an issue. Using grapple to get over here to 3 items. On Nito's side, gets to see the missile pack. Raylan does have wave beam. You can do, there we go. Raylan remembers he has wave. Nito is going to get their tempered sword over here in Upper Norfair. A nice find. Again, a red item, but not the red item we need. Taking the bomb down to Waterway. Raylan's going to take care of Waterway. Another big 300 down here at Charge Beam. And our Waterway is, again, not the answer. Meanwhile, Nito continuing on. Will he go to Crockfire? If not, that will save him some time. Raylan gets the piece of heart, or says no to the piece of heart at Waterway. Continues on. Uses the wave beam and sees that Cathedral is power bombs. So we'll move on. Back to Business Center. I believe we're pretty darn close. Yeah. Going back to business time. So where does he go from here? Let's hope he goes back to Zelda, because that's the answer. But we will find out in just a little bit. Raylan is on their way over to Blue Brinstar. We'll get... you're right. He's doing Ice Beam and Crumble Tower for Crocomire instead. Raylan is in the Green Hill Zone. Didn't go up to Blue Bryn. Needs to go up there to get that Fire Rod. But instead, he's going to go back to X-Ray. Let's hope he goes back to Blue Bryn after cleaning this up. Nito seeing that Crumple Tower is just 50 rupees. Raylan got the bad news that X-Ray was not the answer. And Nito is going to go bet on Croc. That's not the answer here, but that is good for Raylan, because Raylan's already cleared that. So where Nito could have made up some time, he will not make up for it. Raylan on their way back to Blue Bryn too soon. They will get their Fire Rod there. Indeed. Hi, Croc. Bye, Croc. Nice to see you, Croc. Moonwalking back into the abyss one more time. Lovely to see you again. But the air capacity is not what Raylan's after, but Raylan is on the right track to get one of the two items that they need for Go Mode. Gonna get it here in Alpha Missiles. There's that Fire Rod. So now both players are Go -1. It is Red Cane all the way. Who will get there first? Yes, Raylan saw Silvers in Meridia, and he reset and never went back. So he knows where Silvers are, but I don't think he's going to get them. Not at this point. They're way out of the way in the sand pit. Vidian chat saying that the Fire Rod may point out to Raylan to go to Skull Woods. I have to hope so. That is one of the options here. I think you finish Skull before you dip Mire. Because there's, well, you don't want to dip Mire and it not be there. And then you have to go to Skull anyway and then back to him. But if you dip Skull first, you at least know it's in Mire for sure. So that's my logic, but I could see the other way too. Just saying, if it's in Mire, you just go ahead and do it, and you can come across it as a vanilla cane essentially. Then you're in Go Mode. I think there's a good argument either way. So we'll see as these runners get down to very little left which route they choose. Chat saying it's a tough call. I mean, I would go Skull first, but I really don't know the better play there. It's a 50-50 gamble. Going Skull first is the more conservative play, because you're ensuring that you won't need to double dip Mire. But if it's in Mire, then you're wasting your time. So Raylan is not going to check this item first. He's going for the Shine Spark. He does get it, and doesn't see it. He doesn't see the red cane, he sees Power Bombs. Yeah, correct. Chat's pointing out there are some fetch quests left. I don't think Raylan has checked the dig spot yet. We also haven't seen magic powder. So it's possible that magic powder could be in this location and the cane is at powder. Or at the bat, I should say, magic bat. Nito is back in Zelda. He is going for King's Tomb. Raylan going down to Bomb Chorizo. Nito getting the single arrow of destiny. Bomb Chorizo gets out of there. Doesn't want the 5. Since he didn't take the item, he's not going to fight Bomb Chorizo for it. That's a fairly recent change. It used to be if you had bombs, no matter what, you'd have to fight Bomb Chorizo to get out of there. Now it's if you take the item, then you have to fight Bomb Chorizo. Nitorific gets the space jump from Bonk Rocks. A little bit late for that, but he does get it. Raylan trying for the Alcatraz escape out of Bomb Chorizo. I think at this point he probably wants to go to the other side. Gets it with the space jump. Well done. And I think Nito... Is Nito going to leave? I think he's going to Skull, I hope. Yes, going north. He is going to Skull. So this is the 50-50 shot. Now is Raylan going to Skull or is Raylan going to go to Mire? Raylan's going to Mire. This is it, folks. Who's making the right play? First chest is for Nito, and Skull is the key. It's one of the small keys. Raylan is opening up Mire. This is the big moment, folks. Oh, big 20 at Skull. That's the other item. So if Skull's the answer, it is, in fact, the green pendant. Big key for Nito. Where is Raylan going? Raylan's going to the digging spot. I think. Ah. Ah. Please flip back to Mire, Raylan. Yes, okay. Back in business. No. Well, yeah, he's got the Mire portal. The mirror portal, sorry. Mirror at Mire. That's a tongue twister. Oh! There it is. It wasn't Skull. The other item was the red ribbon we saw before. That's it. Nitorific's in go mode. Skull Woods was the play. He won a double dip Mire. Nito is definitely in the lead. It was just right there the whole time. Ugh. Ouch. And after all that Raylan did to get, I think, in some ways back in the lead, and we got to that point, Nito is now firmly in command of this race. He's in go mode. He's going to go rush TR because TR is the last crystal. He's going to finish Ganon's Tower. Then he's going to do Misery to get the last Metroid boss. And then go to Mother Brain. That's the route he's taking. I don't disagree with it. Man, Raylan skipped the chest that he could have gotten to in Skull. And he skipped it. And if Raylan would have had that, he would have been in go mode a long time ago. Well, not a long time. He would have been in go mode when he got the fire rod. About 10 minutes ago. Man alive. That is... Oof. That is rough. Yeah, there could be other runners who aren't being streamed who found Samaria way earlier than this. Correct. Chat pointing out Nito has the silvers, so he has the edge for Ganon at this point. Oh man, Nito is looking for one thing and one thing only here in Final Run: keys. Looking for the small keys to get to the back, and the big key to access Trinex. Anything else is gravy, but he's checking the chest until he gets those keys. There's no need to check Mimic Cave. Raylan is going up to Skull. He's going to be getting into go mode about 5 minutes after Nito. Is that a gap that can be overcome? It's going to be very tough to do it with a runner of the caliber of Nito. Raylan's an amazing runner as well, but Nito has the edge with those silver arrows. Butter Sword, finding in TR. That's nice before getting to Ganon. Let's see. Raylan going back into Skull. You know it's going to feel bad when he finds this red cane here. Oh no. He's going back to the back first. He's going to go fight Moth first. Oh no. I wonder if he thinks he checked that chest. I actually thought he had. I thought he had when he dipped Skull earlier. So maybe he thinks he did check that chest and that the item is on Moth. Or true, chat pointing out Raylan's thinking if it's in that chest, he's already lost. Not realizing just how close it is. Nito going back a different route through TR. With Raylan now fighting the Moth, it means we've seen all bosses this seed except Blind. Or we will have seen. We haven't seen Trinex and Vitreous yet. We will see them. Raylan's going to get the green pendant, and I have to hope that he checks the other chest and doesn't beeline the green pendant to the hospital. Let's see, does Raylan go back into Skull? He does. Nito's still en route to get the Trinex. Nito on his way. Nice use of the red ring. Not a key. Raylan going back down into Skull. He's going to get the bad news now that this is the chest that has what he's been looking for this whole time. Oof. And there it is. Raylan's in go mode at 2 hours 39 minutes. Meanwhile, Nito's on Laser Bridge. Gets the key and is now making his beeline for Trinex. Raylan goes back to Meyer immediately. He's going to do Meyer first. So a divergence of route again. I don't think this is going to be enough of a difference, given the key layout of Turtle Rock, but we'll see. If anything, I think Nito is a little better spot because he can go straight to Ganon's Tower. Unless Raylan's planning on getting Mother Brain first, which I don't think that's the play. 2 necks or Trinex down. Trinex is about to reveal his final form. It was Butter Sword. This is a pretty simple fight. And down goes Trinex. We hardly knew ye. Gets the compass, but more importantly gets the last crystal. So we might be about to play the Ganon's Tower Big Chess game in the chat. We'll see if he goes there or if he decides to go to Meyer first. I'm thinking he's going to go to Ganon's Tower, but I'll prompt y'all in the chat in just a second if I see him going that way. And yes, he is going that way. So there are 23 possible locations for the big key in Ganon's Tower. Please put your guess into the chat where this thing is going to be. I'm going to say it's going to be chest 18. Put your spot into the chat. Here goes Nito into Ganon's Tower. Gonna go right side first. Half magic in chest 1. Magic powder in chest 2. Would have been nice to have those earlier, but oh well. Going back to the left side. The torch number 3 is the big key. Ganon's Tower was boots locked. Wow. So it's a good thing Nito did clean up Upper Norfair, or else he would have been screwed. Wowee. Number 3 on the torch. I would say what are the chances, but somebody could calculate that in the chat if they wanted to calculate that. But in any event, Nito did check Upper Norfair. He did get the boost, speed booster, so now he can continue on up the tower. Yeah, agreed. There could be some non-restream runners who skipped Upper Norfair who are running into the situation of needing boots when they don't have them. Nito on his way will not have to fight the ice almost. That's nice. Perhaps Nito will get revenge on Trollmore. If you just joined us late in the race, the first boss that Nito fought was Moldorm in Tower of Terra. And Moldorm knocked Nito off the platform about 4 or 5 times in this race. Nito has performed amazingly well aside from that boss. He didn't have a fighter sword yet. It was just a hammer. But I think he's about to get revenge on Moldorm here. Raylan is going into TR. He does have Meyer complete. Nito-rific does not have Meyer done yet. But it will probably not be enough for Raylan to come back. But stranger things have happened in SMZ3. Land mode 2. And with silver arrows, this is a cakewalk. They are done. Nito moves on to continue further up the tower. Further on in the gauntlet he goes. Cane of Burn strats. Gets the butter sword on Raylan's side. Well done. And well done indeed for Nito to get through the spinning fire rod room. And moving on. Gets the key. Continues on again. He is not checking the chest. There's no need to. Gets a full magic decanter. That'll be very useful. And here it is. Round 2 with Moldorm. With Butter Sword. This should be pretty straightforward. And he is down. That's gotta feel good for Nito after the way this race started. He is not going to take Moldorm's possession. Leave that chest unopened. And he will now be on his way to the evil pig. On the way to Ganon. No dwarf, just Ganon. But first, Aghanim, who is, spoiler alert, also Ganon. One shot there. Nice clump. Got a couple of them on that one. Maybe one more hit, I'm thinking. Nope, more than one. That's it. Okay, well done, Nitorific. Down goes Aghanim, and out comes the pig. Who's a bat. And a pig. Ganon's a bit confusing. As is most things in the Zelda canon, but that's besides the point for now. The pyramid will open. Just for a fast Ganon seed, the pyramid would have been open a long time ago. And in goes Nitorific to fight the pig. Ganon reminding us to start your day with an incredible breakfast. So please take Ganon's advice if it's the morning where you're at. Or take it for tomorrow. Start your Sunday right with a lovely breakfast, courtesy of Ganon. But I don't think he would want you to have bacon in that breakfast. Butter Sword making these phases of Ganon pretty straightforward here. Meanwhile, on Raylan's side, he did get the last key on Laser Bridge and is now making his way to Trinex. Final phase of Ganon with the silver arrows. Finishing up Ganon here. Meanwhile, Raylan taking on the Trinex. Ganon down. Put a single G in the chat for Nitorific. Zelda Link to the Past is complete. Single G's, please, in the chat for Nitorific. Well done indeed. But he does have Meyer left in addition to Mother Brain. Raylan, meanwhile, taking out Trinex. Nitorific making their fast travel over with the duck. Thank you very much. Over to Meyer. Raylan's probably going to go ahead and go to Ganon's Tower and then go over to Mother Brain. Nito's got this detour in through the Meyer area. Yes, Skullwood's big key chest was the location of Samaria. We thought that Raylan had checked it on his first hit to Skullwoods and he hadn't, which is why we were thinking we figured it was Skullwoods or Meyer. It was Skullwoods, but it was the big key chest, not on Green Thunder. But Nito went to Skullwoods first and got it. Raylan dipped Meyer, then went back to Skull and did Moth first before going to that chest, which is why Nito is in the lead. Even though he still has to clear out Meyer, I still say he's in the lead because he's finished GT. Raylan's going to get his big key off the torch here. Be very glad he has the boots from the speed booster area. Continuing on through Meyer. Gets the small key. Raylan is going to take out those mimics. And he clipped him off the screen. Well, that's one way to do it. He was low on arrows, so he wanted to take care of him that way. Moving on. Nito is continuing to the back of Meyer here. Raylan is about to go fight. Oh. Tips off. Going further up. Nito is on his way down to the fight with Vitreous. Using Red Cane to its intended purpose there. Well done. Raylan in the middle of the gauntlet. In GT. And now Raylan gets to have a second fight with Lanmo. Using the fire rod. And goodbye Lanmo. And remember, Raylan does not have silvers. He did not go back to the sand pit in Meridia to get the silver arrows. So he will not have that advantage going into Ganon. Meanwhile, Nito does have that advantage going into Vidi. And oh boy, those taking him out pretty quickly. Should be 2 silver arrows to the eyeball, and there it is. We now have all 4 Metroid tokens and can now proceed to Turian. This is definitely Nito's race to lose at this point. Raylan has to get through the rest of GT and through Aghanim and Ganon before he gets to go fight Mother Brain. With pretty much everything filled in on the tracker, this is as comfortable as a run to Turian could possibly be for Nito. The only thing is he only has 21 supers, but he does have every kind of beam that he could possibly want. So did not refill at the ship. He's just going straight down for Mother Brain. Into Turian we go. Raylan, meanwhile, is going to fight Aga 2. Nito has the capacity at this point to do the baby skip with high jump boots. Will he go for it? My suspicion is if he didn't even reload in the ship, he's going to try to save as much time as he can. While these runners are in this final bosses of both games, I do want to remind you to please follow them. They've been doing a great show for us here today. Nitorific and Raylan Tanker. It's been a very competitive race, and really it wasn't until the very end here, about 20 minutes ago, when we knew which runner was going to be getting into go mode first, because it was a race to the red cane, a 50-50 shot. So these runners definitely deserve a follow for the amazing performance they put on today. Nito appears to be going for the baby skip. Nope, he's not. Okay, he's just gonna wait. No, he's taking the baby along for a ride and takes the death anyway. Not the death, sorry, I misspoke. Takes the loss of health down to 1. Then the baby realizes who Samus is and decides, oh no, I like you. Nito's gonna go get his health refill. Meanwhile, Raylan is fighting Ganon. Remember, no silver arrows, so this fight will take a little bit longer. Does have Butter Sword, though. Nito on their way down to Mother Brain. Raylan being reminded by Ganon that the silver arrows were in fact in Meridia. Gets sent down the pyramid. Has to go back up and around. Always frustrating when this happens. Meanwhile, Nito on phase 1 of Mother Brain. Mother Brain phase 1 down. But wait, there's more! Phase 2 of Mother Brain emerges. Yes, correct. Nito did not. I was so captured by Raylan falling on his side. We did not see Nito did not do the Zeb skip because he missed the speed booster version. Honestly, though, with the amount of missiles he had, it probably wasn't necessary. And he has charge and plasma and every other beam. And in comes the baby after we get another beam. Stand-up glitch in effect, the good kind, unlike Afraid. He will take some pot shots from Mother Brain while the baby comes in for the rescue. And there's the baby. Come on, Raylan, we can finish off Ganon. We're very close. Stand up on the Nitorific side. Ganon's down for Raylan. Single G in the chat for Raylan. Nice recovery, getting back up that pyramid and showing Ganon who the real boss is. Well done to Raylan. He's recovered the Triforce. Now he has to go fight Mother Brain. Meanwhile, RIP in the chat for the baby. Poor baby. But we get the Ketchup Beam, Hyper Beam as a result. And that will finish off Mother Brain here very shortly. Goodbye, you wretched Mother Brain. And now Zebus decides it wants to blow up. Nidoriffic has 3 minutes to get back to the ship. He doesn't need 3 minutes to get back to the ship. If it were not a race, we would ask the question if Nito was going to save the animals, but we pretty much know that he won't, since we're in a race setting here. Raylan going down to Turian. If you're not a regular SMZ3's viewer, you might not realize this is very close for SMZ3. Given the length of these seeds, the fact that Raylan is going into Turian to finish the game at the time Nito's coming out, it's incredibly close. Nito making his way up, going for the spark. There it is, the thing of beauty to get out of there. Nito just needs to get to the safety of the ship, and he will have won the race. And he does it. But with a time of 3 hours, 2 minutes, and 17 seconds. Nidoriffic has won today's race. GG to Nito in the chat. Well played. Amazing recovery from the start with Moldorm to pull this off. I will see if you'd like to join us for an interview. All right, I see Nito has joined us. Nidoriffic, well done, GG.
GG. You know what's the worst part of all?
What was that? Sorry.
You know what's the worst part of all of this?
What was it?
I hadn't been knocked down by Troodom like a million times. I would have still succeeded.
Yeah, I know. We were saying that this, when you killed Troodom in Ganon's Tower, that had to be a little bit of revenge. When you came back fully armed.
With a butter sword, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was a nice recovery. And honestly, I don't know if you're seeing the restream with Raylan, but he is finishing up. He's getting to Mother Brain right now. I mean, it was, for SMZ3, this is really close.
It had to be.
Incredibly close race. We got to the point where the only place the Red King could be was either in Mire itself, in Skull Woods, or on the Green Pendant. And you went to Skull, and Raylan went to Mire, and that was the race.
Yikes.
You literally were going, he was going into Mire at the same time you went into Skull. And that was it. And Raylan dipped Skull earlier in the race, but did not check the chest that had Samari.
Another bad part, I always say, to me, Skullwoods is basically an overworld check. And yet I went to Thieves Town instead. Why? Because I had the myths. I could go straight down instead of having to go up then down. The little things that make you make mistakes. But he had to be close. I mean, I full cleared. I know where everything is. So if I finish ahead, he has to be really close behind me.
The other factor is that Raylan saw the silvers in the sand pits but didn't go back and get them. So his Ganon fight took a little bit longer. And he also fell to Ganon. He didn't fall to Trolldorn, but Ganon did knock him off the platform at the pyramid. So he had to restart the Ganon fight in phase 4.
Yeah, that didn't help. But twice in the middle hole against Troll. He was particularly aggressive.
He was. Trolldorn was rude. But very well done. I think that Red Cane was so elusive today. For a long time in the race, you had a major lead. Raylan didn't have the bow. And in fact, he didn't go get the bow in Graveguard Ledge till he got the boots in Upper North. And that's what led him to King's Tomb, which finally led him over to Graveguard Ledge to get.
I thought the logic was Speed Booster to Flute to Morph Bombs for Lower Norfair, but apparently, if you did Upper Norfair, you had boots to Space Jump.
He snail clipped in Meridia. So when he got Dark World access, the first place he actually went was Meridia via the Dark World portal, and went to fight a Dragon first. It did Meridia first, and he used the snail clip to get up to Aqueduct to get the flute. So we knew where the flute was, but it was out of logic.
So now that we know where Kane is, the only hard required item that was in Super Metroid was Fire Rod.
Yeah.
That's insane.
We did say that the hype cave today might have been the most hype we've seen in a long time.
Well, be suspicious of a free suit. Be extremely suspicious of 2 free suits. You saw, they were only required to kill their bosses. That's it. And Fire Rod was in Bryn Loop.
Mm-hmm. Raylan found Morph before you in Ice, and that's what took him away from everything else, because when he found Morph, he did go into Metroid. And like you said, there was nothing there really aside from Fire.
I knew it was Ice when I found Bombos. But all I had was a fighter sword, and I didn't want to do like hammer or 32 spins against the old stair. Now I realize that maybe we're not meant to one dip Ice Palace, just get the Morph and come back later with the Cane. But no, Cane was in logic by that point. So I went back when I had a bottle and a Master Sword. Took my time, could have done it faster, but on Green Mail, these guys hurt like 4 hearts.
Raylan did a great cold stare. It was a slower cold stare with what he had, but it was well fought to survive that cold stare. And he's about to finish now. Still a good time. It's going to be sub 310. Given that you had to full clear everything, that's a good time.
Yeah, everybody full cleared apparently.
By the way, very impressive ice clip on Shacktool. The chat was cheering you on with that. Well done.
You know, the funny thing is, once you're good at the ice clip, it's faster than the intended way. The skip is faster than the intended way.
And GG to Raylan. He finishes his race at a time of 3 hours, 9 minutes, 1 second. GG Raylan. Well done. And we'll see if Raylan would like to come join us. But yeah, I mean, the tracker is lit up. The only thing he didn't get that you got, the silvers, which he knows where they are, he didn't get ether. But it wasn't required. So,
I mean, it could have been, so I picked it up.
Yeah. He knew by the time you did Bryn Loop. He did Bryn Loop after Meyer. Or no, well, not after he checked what Meyer was. so he knew that he didn't need it, so he just left it there. But he was trying to do a Bryn skip, but when he got down to the very few locations left, he did the Bryn skip.
The Bryn skip. I was hearing the Bryn skip siren song too, but I'm like, no, the two suits were completely free. They're gonna be empty. Bryn Loop's gonna have something, and it had Fire Rod. And potentially Ether.
But you need the Fire Rod.
Yeah, we needed to, Trinex.
Tempered Sword was nice in Upper Warfare. Not required, but it was nice to find.
What was the boots?
The boots were there, and then the Tempered Sword was over in Warfare.
What was it? Reserve? Warfare Reserve.
Yeah. So that was a nice find. Again, not hard required, but it made life a little easier for you.
Well, Tempered was directly in the way, too. You would...
Yeah.
Because you don't skip chest in Turtle Rock until you have the big key, at least. Correct. And you would have gotten the sword before the big key. So that's true. A free tempered. So that was a free tempered for a sword seed.
So in effect, Butter was the one in Warfare. Gold sword. But yeah, well done, Nito. I don't think Raylan's joining us. I think enjoying the chat, but he did a really good job indeed. So, but well done to you, Nito. GG, winning the race. 3 hours, 2 minutes. Any last thoughts on this race?
I guess sometimes full clearing efficiently helps.
I would agree with that. That's today's lesson, audience. Sometimes full clearing helps.
If you're doing qualifiers, that's what I always do. I know I won't win, but I won't lose by a ton. So that's what I usually do during qualifiers for tournaments. Just full clear efficiently. You will be at least in the upper half, if not higher, and you will probably be qualified. Then you can do your harebrained skipped when you're in brackets.
Well, I do want to say, Nito, I've been watching races for a while. I just started commentating relatively recently. It's my first time covering one of your races. I've been a fan of your running for a long time, so it was an honor to comment your race today. So thank you for giving us such a wonderful performance. I appreciate it.
Thank you for commentating so I could race.
I appreciate it. And thank you all for joining us. And remember to follow Nito and Raylan. I've been your commentator, Nerdy Shuffle, and this has been SMZ3. Thank you all so much for joining us. GG Nito. Bye, everybody.